Picture yourself driving down a desolate highway, the only sound being the hum of your vehicle's engine. The world around you is cloaked in darkness, punctuated only by the occasional flicker of your headlights against the rough asphalt and the distant glow of the moon. There's an eerie tranquility to this solitude. It's just you, the road, and the endless night stretching out before you. The hum of the engine starts to lull you into a hypnotic trance, your eyes growing heavy as the monotony of the drive takes its toll. The road ahead, a lonely stretch of emptiness, seems to merge with the darkness around you. You're alone, in the middle of nowhere, with nothing but the rhythmic thrum of the engine and the crunch of gravel beneath your tires to keep you company. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a figure, standing alone, just off the side of the road. A hitchhiker. Shrouded in shadows and barely discernible in the dim moonlight, they stand with their thumb outstretched, a silent plea for assistance. Despite the chill of apprehension that creeps up your spine, you slow down. The loneliness of the highway, the vast expanse of nothingness around you compels you to stop. After all, aren't we all just travelers on this lonely road of life, looking for a bit of companionship? You pull over, the gravel crunching under your tires as you come to a stop. You roll down your window, the cool night air rushing in, carrying with it a sense of foreboding. You glance at the hitchhiker, their face obscured by the darkness, their silence a stark contrast to the whispering wind. You offer them a ride, a brief respite from their solitary journey. But little did the driver know, this wasn't just any hitchhiker. As the hitchhiker climbed into the vehicle, an eerie sense of dread filled the air. This was no ordinary passenger. He had a certain aura about him, a peculiar vibe that was difficult to ignore. His clothes were from another era, his eyes carried a distant look, and there was an unshakable chill that seemed to follow him. The driver, attempting to put his unease aside, struck up a conversation. The hitchhiker's voice was soft, almost a whisper, as he began to share fragments of his story. He spoke of a time long ago, painting pictures of a world that seemed far removed from the present. His tales were filled with nostalgia, and yet there was a somber undertone that hinted at a past marred by tragedy. Every word from the hitchhiker was like a piece of a puzzle that was as intriguing as it was confounding. He spoke of a small town, a place where everyone knew everyone, a place that he called home. He described the school he went to, the friends he had, and the dreams he once nurtured. Yet, there was a conspicuous absence of any mention of family or loved ones. The driver listened, captivated by the hitchhiker's narrative, his unease slowly giving way to curiosity. There was something about the hitchhiker's story that seemed eerily familiar. It was as if the tales were whispers from the past, echoes from an era that seemed almost forgotten. As the journey continued, the hitchhiker's demeanor began to change. His voice became softer, his eyes glossier. Every word he uttered, every story he told, seemed to drain him, leaving in its wake a ghostly pallor. It was as if he was reliving his past, his joys and his sorrows, all over again. The driver felt an inexplicable bond with the stranger, a shared connection that transcended the confines of the vehicle. And yet, there was a growing sense of unease, a creeping chill that refused to subside. Yet, as the miles rolled by, the driver couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. What started as a regular journey was quickly turning into a ride of horrors. As the miles rolled by, the hitchhiker began to share stories from their past. It was as if every tale was a fragment of a chilling jigsaw puzzle, each piece more eerie than the last. There were accounts of a family lost, a home abandoned, and a life filled with inexplicable occurrences that defied logic. The tales were told with such conviction that they seemed to hang heavy in the air, casting an ominous shadow over the journey. The driver, initially intrigued, began to sense an underlying layer of dread that was impossible to shake off. The hitchhiker's stories were not just strange, they were downright terrifying. Yet there was something so compelling about them, something that made it impossible to ignore the mounting sense of unease. The more the driver listened, the more they began to question the reality of their passenger. The hitchhiker's tales were not just tales, they were echoes of a past that seemed to belong to another realm. A realm where the lines between the living and the dead were blurred, where the supernatural held sway over the natural. The driver began to piece together the jigsaw puzzle that was the hitchhiker's past. Each story was a clue, each clue a step closer to an unimaginable truth. The Phantom Hitchhiker, as it seemed, was not a living soul, but a spirit trapped in the mortal world, forever destined to roam the desolate highway. The realization was as chilling as the stories the hitchhiker had spun. It was a truth that was hard to stomach, a truth that turned the mundane into the macabre. The driver was not just giving a lift to a stranger, they were sharing their journey with a ghost. The horrific realization sent a shiver down the driver's spine. It was as if a cold hand had gripped their heart, squeezing it with an icy dread. They were trapped in their own car, with a ghost for company, hurtling down a highway that seemed to stretch into infinity. As the truth began to unravel, fear gripped the driver's heart. In the darkest stretch of the highway, the real terror was about to unfold. As the driver ventured deeper into the desolate highway, the air grew colder, the night deeper. He could feel the chill of the unknown seeping into his bones. The hitchhiker, who had been quiet for a while, finally broke the silence. His voice was hushed, almost a whisper, as he began to narrate a tale. It was a story of a young man who died tragically in an accident, right on this very highway, many years ago. His voice was heavy with sorrow and a strange familiarity that the driver couldn't quite place. The hitchhiker's tale was heart-wrenching, filled with a palpable sense of loss and despair. The driver, caught in the grip of the story, felt a chill run down his spine. The similarities between the hitchhiker's tale and the mysterious passenger were too uncanny to dismiss. Then, in the most chilling turn of events, the hitchhiker revealed the truth. He was the ghost of the young man who died all those years ago. The driver's heart pounded in his chest, his breath hitching in his throat. His hands clenched the steering wheel tighter, the cold sweat trickling down his forehead. The ghostly presence beside him was no longer a stranger, but a phantom from a time long past. The eerie silence that followed was deafening. The driver's mind raced, struggling to comprehend the horrifying reality. He could feel the phantom's icy gaze on him, a chilling reminder of his spectral passenger. The car seemed to be driving itself, the driver too shocked to control it. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum, echoing the terror coursing through his veins. And then, just as suddenly as he had appeared, the Phantom Hitchhiker vanished. The car was empty, save for the driver, alone with his terror. The chilling echo of the hitchhiker's tale hung in the air like a ghostly whisper, a terrifying reminder of the spectral encounter. The Phantom Hitchhiker had claimed another victim. In the aftermath of the terrifying journey, the driver was forever changed. The haunting tale of the Phantom Hitchhiker had seeped into the driver's soul, leaving an indelible mark. The lonely highway, once a symbol of freedom and adventure, was now a chilling reminder of a spectral encounter that defied explanation. The driver, once an ordinary man with a love for the open road, found himself irrevocably altered. Each time he sat behind the wheel, the echo of the Phantom Hitchhiker's voice would reverberate in his ears. The ghostly figure, with its sorrowful eyes and tragic tale of a life cut short, had become a constant companion in his thoughts. His dreams were plagued by the Phantom's sorrowful tale, the chilling climax of their encounter replaying night after night. The driver's life, once filled with the mundane, was now punctuated by the extraordinary. His reality intertwined with the supernatural. He was forced to confront the existence of a realm beyond the one he knew. The Phantom Hitchhiker had opened his eyes to the inexplicable, and life as he knew it would never be the same. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Yet, the memory of the spectral hitchhiker refused to fade. The driver found himself recounting the tale to anyone who would listen, his words a cautionary tale to those who dared venture onto lonely highways. His story, a chilling reminder that the world is filled with unexplained phenomena, served as a warning to those who might dismiss the supernatural. The Phantom Hitchhiker had become a part of the driver, a specter that lingered long after their fateful encounter. The driver, once a man of reason, had been transformed into a storyteller, his tale a testament to the extraordinary and the unknown. Remember, the next time you're driving down a desolate highway, beware of the Phantom Hitchhiker. The Phantom's tale might seem like an eerie legend, but to the driver, it was a stark reality. A reality that reminds us that there are mysteries in this world that are beyond our understanding, and perhaps some things are better left unexplained. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey. The voiceover begins, his tone both grateful and solemn. We've traveled down a lonely highway, encountered a mysterious hitchhiker, and faced a chilling climax that has left us all irrevocably changed. This tale, this haunting encounter with the spectral hitchhiker, is a reminder that the world is full of mysteries that are beyond our understanding. The voiceover continues, his words echoing in the ears of the listeners. We're grateful for your time and your courage, for it takes a brave soul to venture into the unknown, to confront the supernatural, and to listen to a tale that defies explanation. We hope you found this journey as enlightening as it was chilling. The voiceover then shifts, his voice taking on a persuasive tone. If you've enjoyed this journey, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. There are many more tales to tell, many more mysteries to unravel, and we'd be honored to have you with us every step of the way. And then, as the scene draws to a close, the voiceover leaves the listeners with a chilling reminder. Remember, the Phantom Hitchhiker could be waiting for you on your next journey. Subscribe, stay safe, and always keep an open mind. For the world is full of the extraordinary and the unknown, and sometimes they come to us in the most unexpected ways.